So let's talk about how to make sure your executive is ready for their presentation. So many times we see an executive that ends up confused on the stage, or they're not sure where something is, or they themselves are figuring it out at the same time the audience is, and we don't want to see that happen to yours. So, first of all, I always take off the name tag. Nobody wants to look like they're still at the conference when they're seeing videos a year later or photos from the event in the press, and it looks like a big giant name tag on their chest. So let's take off the name tag. Second of all, when the executive gets there, I just like to take them about 20 feet off of the stage and just let them look. Let them look around. See the stage from the perspective of the audience. So they can see if there's screens on either side or there's a screen in the middle. So they understand how transitions will happen. You know, for example, I'll share, you're going to be walking on from the left side of the stage, and then you'll be exiting the right stage. I'll point out where the podium is. I'll show them any other of the scenic items that are on the stage that they need to be aware of. If there's awards that they're handing out, I'll make sure I point out where the award is. So they see it all from the perspective of the audience. And then we take them on stage, and we show them, okay, here is what's set up for you. First and foremost, I always want to make sure they know where there's a glass of water. Have you ever sat in the pain point where there's an executive about to cough, but he doesn't have water, and you yourself are trying to decide, should you go get him one? Well, we take a glass, whether it's a coffee cup or it's a small glass, and we fill it about 2/3 of the way, never ever with cold water, and certainly don't put any ice in it. It keeps it from getting slippery. And then we put a name tag right underneath of it. Maybe it's a piece of tape that has their name, so they don't get to the glasses and wonder, has someone else drunk out of my glass? And then we point out to them, when you present, you'll be using something to forward your PowerPoint or your clicker, your remote, and we say, here's the remote. Let's test it together. Let's go forward, let's go backwards, and then make sure you tell them how they're going to get it. Is the presenter before going to hand it to them? Are you going to hand it to them backstage and they walk out with it? And I always let them know you've got a backup, because in the event something goes a little odd, you know you've got one, they know you've got one, and you just walk it out and you hand it to them real quickly. Finally, we never want an executive to be turning around. Have you seen it? Where they're turning around to look at the screen, and it's like they're not even talking to the audience anymore because they're talking to the back wall. Or they're trying to see what their slide says over there. To overcome that, we put a confidence monitor on the ground that is an exact duplication of what the audience is seeing. And next to that, we put a countdown clock so that you confirm with them, hey, I show you're presenting today for 45 minutes. They agree. You show them the clock and the confidence monitor at the exact same time, and you say your clock is going to count down from 45 minutes to 0. That way you don't feel rushed and you don't accidentally go longer than you're supposed to speak. And you know what? The final thing we talk about is if anything goes as we've not anticipated, perhaps it's a power outage in the building, something happens with the remote, they lose video screens, microphones are having problems, you let them know who is their friend. Who can they look to help resolve that issue? And we hope this takes the pain out of the next time your executive presents. And on behalf of your friends here at Creative Visions, we hope you have a great event.